Hi everyone, in this video I will be comparing the Sony ZVE10 and A7 IV. One camera is budget friendly while the other is more professional. But can you really tell the difference between them? Let's take a closer look, and by the end of the video you will have a better idea of which camera is more suitable for your needs. I will be showing you some side-by-side photos taken with the ZVE10 with Sigma 18-50 lens and the A7 IV with the Tamron 28-200 lens. All of the photos were taken with the same field of view, the same ISO, shutter speed, and aperture, and no picture profile was used on either camera. So camera A is actually the ZVE10 and camera B is the A7 IV. Did you guess it correctly? For photos 1 to 6, I can't really tell the difference. Photos from camera B has a greener look, but I think that comes from the lens coating. I also noticed that photos taken with ZVE10 look brighter. For photos number 7 and 8, you can tell that the background in camera B is more blurry, so the A7 IV can create more obvious bokeh even with the same settings. Photos number 9 were taken with ISO 2000. If you are looking at photos on a larger monitor, you can see that the ZVE10 photo is noisier in the sky area, and the A7 IV also has some noise, but it looks smoother. And I think photos number 10 are pretty straightforward. Just look at the upper right corner of the wall and you can see that the ZVE10 photo has obvious noise. The A7 IV really shines in darker environment, but the ZVE10 is actually performing a lot better than I had expected, considering it has a smaller sensor. On the other hand, A7 IV's 32 megapixel full-frame sensor allows you to get better low light performance. Let's also take a look at the video quality. Again, all the settings are the same, and I'm using picture profile off on both cameras. So this time camera A is actually A7 IV and camera B is ZVE10. To be honest, I can't really tell the difference between the two cameras, except for maybe in video number 2, where the background of the A7 IV appears slightly more blurry. Other than that, there isn't much noticeable difference to me. If you plan to use the video footage straight out of the camera without any color grading, then the 422 10-bit color that A7 IV provides will not make much of a difference. However, if you shoot in S-Log and you plan to do some heavy color grading, then the next test will be interesting to watch. Now I'm using S-Log 3 on both cameras. After some color grading, A7 IV is looking good. The 422 10-bit color means more color pixels. ZVE10 has only 8-bit color, and the footage seems to lose some detail in the highlight area. If I really try to bring back the highlight, it looks like this. It's more noisy, and the transition between colors isn't very smooth. The low light comparison is more tricky because ZVE10 and A7 IV have a different picture profile that perform the best in low light. With ZVE10, I think it is HLG2, and in A7 IV, it is S-Log 3. So let's take a look at all of these footages before and after color grading. Can you tell which footage is taken by which camera using which format? This was shot at ISO 6400. Look at the curtains on the left-hand side, and you can see that ZVE10 S-Log footage is quite noisy. And I think the darkness also affects how the autofocus performs. When I was filming this, for all 4 footages, I went from behind the camera to the front of the computer, and all of them focused correctly on me, except for the ZVE10 S-Log 3 footage, which focused on the computer screen. The A7 IV S-Log 3 has the best low light performance because it has 2 base ISOs, which are 800 and 3200. Therefore, at 6400, which is one stop above 3200, the footage still looks pretty clean. Now we have already looked at the photo and video quality in different lighting conditions. Let's talk about some other important factors. What I love the most after upgrading to A7 IV is that I can shoot in 4K 60p, while ZVE10 only supports 60p in 1080, so no 4K in slow motion. When the lighting is good, sometimes you can tell the difference between 4K and 1080, but in most cases, I have to say yes, there really is a noticeable difference. Another advantage of the Sony A7 IV is in-body stabilization, which means that even when you are not using an OSS lens, you can still capture stable footage without any cropping, because active steady shot will crop in a lot. In fact, all the A7 IV footages in this video were shot with the camera stabilization on, and most of them are usable without further processing. On the other hand, the ZVE10 footage shot handheld without any steady shot is often unusable, so I had to process them Catalyst Browse. I did a complete stabilization and rolling shutter test. Feel free to check it out for more information. The link is up there. These are the most important things for me between A7 IV and ZVE10. But A7 IV has other features that ZVE10 lacks, such as a viewfinder, which can be useful in bright sunlight, and A7 IV also has a touch screen that allows you to adjust settings by tapping. Unlike the ZVE10's very limited touchscreen, which only allows you to focus or to inspect different parts of a photo. Additionally, the A7 IV has dual card slots, which is essential for recording important events such as interviews or weddings. So, in what aspect is the ZVE10 superior to the A7 IV? Well, the A7 IV weighs 659 grams, which is about 300 grams heavier than the 364 gram ZVE10. Also, when using the A7 IV, you are more likely to use heavier and more expensive full-frame lenses. The A7 IV is about 3 times the price of the ZVE10. I will put the product links in the description box if you want to check out the latest price. Cameras with larger sensors generally have larger pixels, which can offer better low light sensitivity and a wider dynamic range and richer color depths. And larger sensor cameras also create more shallow depths of field to separate the subject from the background. But the purpose of this comparison is not to say that ZVE10 is not a good camera. In my opinion, ZVE10 is the best budget camera. It is more video-centric, but it performs greatly for both videos and photos. And Sony A7 IV is the best entry-level professional hybrid camera. The real question is, which camera is more suitable for you? Here's my suggestion. If you shoot in low-light circumstances a lot, or if you need to shoot slow-motion videos, or if you do heavy color grading, buy the A7 IV. But if you only shoot in good lighting conditions, then I think ZVE10 is more than enough. I have taken lots of photos and videos using these two cameras, including in low light conditions. So if you want to see more photos or video samples, feel free to check out those videos. Leave a comment to let me know how you think about these two cameras. If you already have an APS-C camera, do you think it is worth the upgrade? And if there is any other tests you want me to do about ZVE10 and A7 IV, also feel free to let me know in the comment. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.